I'm Luke Roeder, and I'm proud to welcome you to the annual 8th grade Oratorical contest today. For over 20 years, the Oratorical contest has been challenging our Sacred Heart 8th grade students to compose and deliver a speech about an individual who has positively influenced their community. This may include their family community, school community, sports and recreation community, or the community at large. Today, you will have the pleasure of hearing stories about these remarkable individuals from our 12 finalists. Additionally, there are 12 honorable mention representatives who will also share brief descriptions of their role models and speech subjects. The 8th grade language arts teachers had the daunting task of narrowing down the final choices for this contest, which was indeed very difficult due to the wonderfully written and delivered speeches this year. The entire graduating class of 2009 deserves recognition for the outstanding job and terrific effort all the students showed in completing the speech project. Please join me in applauding them now. Following the final speeches today, prizes will be awarded to the first, second, third, and fourth place determined by our distinguished panel of judges, whom I would like to introduce now. First. Next, we welcome Ms. Katie Campitelli Marks, who graduated from Sacred Heart in 1994. During her 8th grade year, she was a finalist for the Oratorical speech contest. Currently, she is a chemistry teacher and varsity basketball coach at Henry Down Craig. Finally, we welcome Mr. Donald Mullen, a former teacher and principal for Baltimore County Schools. Currently. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our first contestant, Taylor Chester.
Christian, faithful, giving, hardworking. These words illustrate the life and works of my great-grandmother, Susie Claire Day. She's a very courageous woman who conquered her life with ups and downs. She strived to live her life to the fullest no matter what. My great-grandmother made every effort to aid all and put her family and friends before herself. Susie was kind, caring, and influential to my life. I have chosen to write about Susie because she taught me how to love and always try her hardest in life, even if it is not the greatest. Susie Claire Day was born to James and Bertha Carter on November 13, 1929 in St. Mary's County, Maryland. She grew up with 9 siblings, 4 brothers and 5 sisters. Susie always cared for her family through hardships, including the death of her twin brother, Sam. Susie was educated at St. Mary's County Public Schools up to 8th grade. After her parents died in the 1930s, she worked as a nurse assistant for the state of Maryland. She lived in southern Maryland until she married Albert L. Day on August 21, 1948, and moved to Baltimore City and happily had 14 beautiful children. Susie was so influential because she lived a life of caring for her children and trying to lead. Susie always committed herself to staying active, especially her church, St. Anne's. Susie belonged to St. Anne's Roman Catholic Church for over 40 years, where she sang in the choir and was even chosen to sing in the choir in the 1988 film Claire's Heart. She also belonged to 2 organizations, St. Anne's Solidarity Committee and the Knights of St. Peter Clavier 80th Auxiliary St. Anne Corps. Susie always devoted herself to a Christian life. Susie strived to make her family and friends' lives happy. She even suffered through an extreme battle with diabetes. Then, in 2003, the diabetes almost got the better of Susie. While in the hospital fighting her diabetes, Susie was told that she had had both of her legs amputated. I remember when I was in the waiting room at the hospital and told that I was not allowed to see her because of my age. This devastated me because I was unsure of the state of my great-grandmother's health. Even though this was tough, she learned to pull through and stay strong. An even tougher time came around in the summer of 2008. Susie was becoming weaker, and sadly, her life came to an end on August 8, 2008, at Union Memorial Hospital after being on life support for several days. Her funeral was held at St. Anne's Roman Catholic Church, and she was buried at the Veterans Cemetery in Baltimore next to her beloved husband, Albert. Susie Claire Day showed the world that life should not be taken for granted. She always stayed faithful to God. The life of my great-grandmother reflects the true life that God has created in all of us. Susie has been a mentor to me and others throughout her life, and she has taught me how to be strong and try my best to succeed in life.
Our second contestant is Elizabeth Bell.
Hero, father, pastor, missionary, friend. All of these words describe my cousin, Brian Petrie. If you were to meet Brian on the street, you would think he was just an ordinary young man, but he is far from ordinary. In fact, Brian is extraordinary. Not only is he funny, kind, and loving, but he is worldly, intelligent, and Christian. He believes he was put on this earth to spread the word of God and to help others. Brian was born in Clarksburg, West Virginia on March 29, 1970. He was the youngest of four. His parents were divorced, which made his childhood a little challenging. Brian attended Virginia Military Institute, but did not join the military. After VMI, he went to grad school, and after grad school, at the age of 25, he married Susan Simla in 1995. They have two children, Luke and Claire, and live in Long Island, New York. Brian is a pastor at the Brooklyn Tabernacle Church. His job includes counseling others and helping people who are on drugs and have different kinds of problems or diseases. Brian had worked in the construction of the Brooklyn Tabernacle Church for 6.5 years. And after working there for so long, he eventually became a pastor. Brian is also a missionary, a person sent by the church into an area to carry on evangelization. He tries to go on missions at least 3 times a year. He became a missionary because he believes people need help, not just in New York, but everywhere all around the world. He says, if God can make a difference, so can we. Brian has traveled all over the world, and some of the places he has been to are Peru, Brazil, Haiti, Russia, China, India, and many other places. Most of the people in the different countries are poor and lack food, clothes, and medical supplies. Brian and the other missionaries bring medical aids, clothes, and food where they visit. They love to play with their children. They love helping others because it makes them feel needed. Some of the accomplishments Brian has achieved are being blessed with a great family and being able to make lifelong friends. Being able to help others has definitely been one of my greatest accomplishments, says Brian. Brian's future plans are to just keep helping with the church and going on missions. He says, I'd like to be able to reach out to as many people as possible and make a difference in their lives. I asked him to give me a memorable story, and this is what he said. I was on my first mission in Croatia, and the place was filled with probation and refugee camps. All the people there experienced great hardship. There was one girl named Jules who really touched my heart. She had a sister, a brother, a mother, and a father. One day, these cruel people came in and destroyed and killed the entire village. The people killed Jules' family right in front of her, just to let her see what would happen to her if she ever did anything wrong. It made me realize how great we have it in America, and we should appreciate what we have. When Brian told me this story, I understood why he went on missions and what it meant to him. Brian has helped many people struggling with their addictions, issues, and illnesses. He has brought them into the church and given them a place to feel comfortable and loved, no matter how large or small their problems may be. Now you can see of Brian Petrie is such an inspiration to me and why I chose him as my hero. To be so selfless and to put God and others first is how he lives his life. It is both humbling and inspiring.